we're working on the heart like we just did, then the direct experience of that is everywhere you look, you feel love. So you see your neighbors and you just naturally feel love and care for them, and kindness, tenderness. You could see the lizards that are crawling across your deck. And
no problem yesterday was looking good.
and you feel that love naturally. In other words, you become a person who doesn't want to harm any being. You don't want to harm any being because you naturally love them. In fact, that's how vegetarians get formed often, right?
That's how I thought.
Oftentimes they do. In other words, you don't have to force yourself to become vegetarian. I mean, I'm not opposed to a person eating meat because I ate meat for years, but as your heart opens to the cow, as your heart opens to the pig, as your heart opens to the sheep, and you see them as like you. Like, I could have lived as a sheep in a previous lifetime. In fact, I likely did. I also likely lived as a cow. I likely lived as a chicken. All of those things. I was in those bodies. And so I'm also starting to think, like, what would they feel if they were being chased down and then had their neck split or whatever. I mean, that's how my mind starts to think as my heart opens. Before I got on the spiritual path, that didn't even occur to me at all because my heart was really shut down. I was more depressed. So that it didn't make any sense. So of course I'd eat animals. I mean, I ate them because they tasted good. You know, that was how my thinking was. So I understand everyone, you know, where people are at because I've done it all also. But it's just helpful to know that a lot of things change when this opens. You don't get upset as easily at people who do you wrong. You can forgive people a lot easier if they do you wrong. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't, you know how you might feel, because I used to sulk. I used to sulk, and I could see how long I could sulk for 2 weeks.
What does that mean?
Pout.
Pout. Oh, pout. Oh, so it's like a fancy word for pouting.
Yeah, exactly. Fancy word for pouting.
How do you say it? Sulk?
Sulk.
Sulk?
Yeah, sulk. So, like, I would do this actually with my mother. If I got upset with my mother, she would say something that really bothered me, then I would almost, in a sense, to get revenge towards her. I would sulk for 2 weeks and be upset that she said or did something to me. And I was able to hold that on, thinking that, you know, I was somehow winning, right? Mm-hmm. But when my heart space started open, like, I realized I would have now sympathy for my mother. If my mother was treating me in a certain way, I go, oh, I see, you're in a particular mood, and that's okay. Let me just give you your space, but I'm not going to take revenge against you and sulk for 2 weeks. Instead, I'm going to have some, we'll say empathy for you, and I see, you're not feeling well today, and I might not say that to her, but say, you're not feeling well today. Let me give you your space to be yourself, and I still, you know, I love you, you know, and I'm not gonna. So anyone who strikes me, so to speak, with anger or some hurt or whatever, I respond with love instead. And so it's so different, because then oftentimes if that person's not in a good mood and I respond with and have a loving response, they won't stay in a bad mood for long. Right? Versus if I responded with, let's say, anger back or attack back, then I'm only intensifying their emotion. I'm only increasing their emotion. So it's like we're playing ping pong, and the anger is going back and forth, and we're just sort of exchanging this increasing anger. And does it really help anyone anyway?
At all.